And then some people are saying, Harley, your cholesterol's good, you should eat more saturated fat. How come these people are always fat? Or how come they're unfit? You know what I mean? Hey, just because someone's unfit or fat doesn't make them bad people. My mum's unfit, my mum's fat, I still love her. So it's, you know, it's an interesting thing. And then we've got, and then you know, I just have to laugh because, again, I've seen people die, commit suicide, end up in mental institutions, you know, emaciated, binge-prone, depressed or obese, and they're taking advice from people who are doing drugs. And again, I used to do a lot of drugs. Yeah, it doesn't make people bad people. I've got friends who do drugs, lovely people as well. But when people are giving health advice, when people are knocking ripe, sweet, organic fruits, and they're saying, don't eat bananas because it affects my superfood sales, and then they're taking ayahuasca, they're smoking a heck of a lot of bongs, they're doing magic mushrooms, they're, you know, guzzling peyote, they're doing all these drugs, and they're saying, don't eat bananas. Don't eat organic bananas. Don't eat organic bananas, but smoke all the bongs you care for. Magic mushrooms are great, as long as you're buying from me. Drink your urine. That's another topic for another video. So, it's interesting, you know what I mean? It's very interesting out there. So, just, I think sometimes we've got to have the ability to critically think. If it doesn't make sense, don't do it. And people say, oh, Harley, I'm just so confused. I don't know what makes sense anymore. Okay, next best option, or the best option, follow your heart. Does it make sense in your heart? Does it make sense to drink your own piss? Does it make sense to smoke heaps of bongs and to give up eating fruit? Does it make sense to eat nuts for breakfast, lunch and dinner? Does it make sense to try and be a breatharian? You know, why do people want to be a breatharian? Why do you think we got born with anuses and bladders and colons? You know what I mean? People trying to be breatharians. What's up with that? You know, I call breatharianism just another form of anorexia in the health movement. You know, calorie restriction, there's no animal in nature that calorie restricts. If you calorie restrict in nature, you're dead. You know what I mean? I'm watching some birds now. They're always looking for food. I put bananas out in the ground. It's gone within 10-15 minutes because the birds are always looking for something to eat. They're not emotionally eating. They're eating, man, because they need to eat. Animals that calorie restrict in nature, see you later. I mean, you don't see animals in nature going, I'm just going to calorie restrict today. My guru said I should get in touch with my emotions and I'm not going to eat much today. I'm just going to be it with my emotions. Bullshit, man. You know what I mean? Animals are just eating all the time. So eat all the time, but make sure you're eating the right foods. It's not how much you eat that makes people fat. It's what they eat that makes people fat. So what you eat that makes you sick. It's not how much you eat. So, I mean, look at more blood tests, you know what I mean? If this wasn't working, I wouldn't be performing. I couldn't be running marathons. I couldn't be having good blood tests. I couldn't be as crazy as I am. You know what I mean? If this didn't work, if being a vegan didn't work, I'd be going backwards instead of forwards. If fruit didn't work as a good carbohydrate, the best carbohydrate source, I'd be going backwards instead of forwards. You know, I'm going forwards. Last Sunday I ran the fastest 10k ever in my life. No drugs. You know, no Ventolin, no salbutamol, you know, no things like that. And that's, again, just because people do drugs doesn't make them bad people. So much confusion in the health movement. People go, I don't know what to do, Harley. I just don't know what to do. I'll say, keep following your heart. Keep following your heart. Keep looking at nature. You know what I mean? People say, well, I want to be 100% raw. And I'm like, don't be 100% raw if you're going to be eating junk. You know what I mean? Don't be 100% raw if you're going to be having nuts for breakfast. Or you're going to be having nuts every day. Don't be doing that. You know what I mean? Be 100% raw if you want to eat enough calories from fruit. If you want to eat some, you know, some veggies and that now and then. But if you want to eat a lot of calories from fruit, be 100% raw. Otherwise, you're going to be 100% failure. You're going to be 100% misery if you're trying to cut your fruit back. You're just going to be hitting your wall again and again and again. And you're going to be, that's how a lot of people make money. They just sell all these products. And again, not bad people, just bad advice. So these people making money selling products to people, they say, don't eat too much fruit. But buy this, buy that, you know. So again, a lot of people don't like what I got to say. That's fair enough. You know, I'm not here to make friends. So I don't really care who I offend. I just want to get the truth out there. What really works, what doesn't. You know, it's I ain't got much to sell, but I got a lot to tell. Got a lot of stories to share, a lot of experiences. You know, we're running the largest raw foods website on the internet, the most popular raw foods internet site. So we see what works, we see what doesn't, we see it very quickly. So I literally talked to thousands and thousands of people all over the world in the last 8 years since I started getting into more raw foods, and just so we quickly see what works, what doesn't. So it's cycling. I'm not going to like take 20 years to learn. I'm going to go to the fastest cyclist around and ask them, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? What are you doing that? And now we're running, I'm doing the same. Just ask, take advice, and people get the results you desire. So we've got people in the raw food movement saying, don't eat fruit, sweet fruit, or don't eat much of, just 2 pieces a day maximum. And these people in the raw food movement, they're giving talks on raw food, they're writing books on raw food, they're doing retreats on raw food, they're running centres on raw food. And they're saying don't eat sweet fruit because I find it disturbing. I was at a talk the other day and someone came up and we were talking. I said, have you just come off a 5-week water fast? And the person's like, no, why do you say that? I said, because you look like you've just come off a 5-week water fast. And this person was, not a little bit shorter than me and 47 kilograms, and I'm, about 66, 65. So that's me 20 kilos less. And, I said, you must be a really fast marathon runner. And the person's like, oh, I couldn't run around the block, really. And I was thinking, I said, well, how come, why are you so emaciated? What's going on here? And they're like, oh, I'm doing a low fruit thing. They went to some recent raw food speakers that come to Australia, went to their talks and said, oh, I'm not meant to eat too much fruit, so I'm eating raw eggs, a little bowl of oats, and lots of vegetables, non-starchy vegetables like broccoli and spinach. So that's their diet. So we sat down and did their caloric intake for the day. They're getting about 1,000 calories a day, about 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day. You know what I mean? For a grown adult. And I said, what's happening to your fitness and weight? And he goes, oh, it's just gone downhill. He goes, oh, it's just detox. I said, it's just detox. I said, mate, it's not detox, it's tox. When you're on a starvation diet, it's tox. When you're avoiding sweet fruit and you're trying to get your calories from eggs and kale and, a handful of oats, that's tox, man. So I said, just go out there and eat as much sweet fruit as you can. If you don't want to be in a raw food, fine. Eat as much, starchy carbohydrates as you can and keep your fat intake down and you'll start to be motivated to get back into fitness, and you'll start to be able to put on a bit of muscle and get your VO2 max up there. So I can't believe people are taking advice from, cayenne pepper snorting, peyote purging, cacao crunching, ayahuasca guzzling, bong toking, LSD flipping, magic mushroom tripping, San Pedro cactus cracking, methamphetamine munching, ecstasy inhaling, lysergic acid dithylamide flipping, cocaine exporting, marijuana evangelizing, raw wine binging people. And I mean, just because someone does drugs doesn't make them bad people. But hey, ask your guru, what sort of drugs do you take? And if you want to get advice from people who do drugs about health, I think if you want to get advice about drugs, ask people who do drugs. But when it comes to health, I think doing sort of recreational drugs is, I don't know. You don't need them on this lifestyle, man. If you're doing this lifestyle correctly, you don't need drugs. If you're undercarbed and you dehydrate, you're not getting enough sleep, you're going to need some drugs. You're going to need some drugs. So my advice is stay off the drugs and eat enough carbs so you don't have to load up on the fat, and then you'll have enough energy to be high. Because what we seek artificially is ours naturally. I used to do a lot of drugs back in the day, and so I can speak from both sides of the fence, man, and this way of life is much better. I used to be able to obtain the highs, but now you can sustain them. You know what I mean? It's like I wake up every day and it's like, wow, another day on the planet. Awesome. It's just such a trip. Literally every day is just a trip, a natural trip. Fructose, sucrose, glucose trip. It's amazing. So get off the drugs. Life's too short to be high on anything but life itself. So it's if you're not feeling off your face naturally every day, you're not living hard enough. You're not eating enough, you're not drinking enough, you're not sleeping enough. So when you eat enough carbohydrates each day, drink enough water, you get enough sleep, you can live the intensity, and that just creates the tripping sort of lifestyle. So I can hear a few people saying, Harley, but what about drugs if you're having like a car accident or something? Should you take drugs then? Common sense, man, common sense. Stay away from the recreational drugs and the magic mushrooms and the bongs and the peyote and the ayahuasca and the LSD and the ecstasy and the meth and the coke and the hammer. Stay away from those things, the booze and stuff like that. There's definitely is a time for drugs, pharmaceutically, in case of emergency surgery, for sure. Use your common sense. Again, what you're going to find is the people who promote the high-fat, low-carb diets, they always promote the drugs, the cacao, the stimulants, the ayahuasca and all these, magic trips. I'll tell you now, there's no magic cure, man. It's just hard work, good food, loss of sleep, loss of water. And as Henry Rollins said, my mate Jade 99 showed me, Henry Rollins said, keep your blood clean, your body lean, and your mind sharp. Thanks for watching.